How you going? I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I thought I'd make this vlog to announce the first official GreelTalk live shows. So I'm going to be kicking it off in Tassie, is where I'm going to begin. So I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 7 years. I started, I think it's 7 years, maybe longer now. Yeah, no, much longer. I've been saying 7 years for the last 3 years. but yeah. I first started with my mate Lewis Spears, and Lewis is one of my dearest friends. He's really been a big support in regards to everything. He's just been a very good friend, and our friendship has definitely gone deeper than the surface level of hip hop and comedy and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm very grateful to have Lewis in my life because not only did he get me into comedy, the first time he came down to Tassie to do stand-up, to do his own show as Lewis Spears, and I went to Lewis's first ever 5 minutes that he did in Ormond. And, I've watched Lewis's whole comedy career from the start. And, yeah, I couldn't be more grateful and proud to have met Lewis. And, yeah, he's always really encouraged me. He was a big encourager for this vlog. He's encouraged me in so many ways. And, I really can't thank him enough, because, yeah, it's opened my life, Lewis took me on a full tour around the country, around Australia, and I think that was maybe 7 years ago. But I did 18 shows with him, and it was really interesting doing this, doing a full national tour, doing stand-up comedy. And I remember the first two was in Geelong and Ballarat, and I did all right. And then I got to the one in Adelaide, and it was a big theatre, and there was, it was packed out. And yeah, I fucked up. I bombed. I fully forgot my material, and I had to walk off stage, and I was like, fuck. And I did my head in over it for like 2 days straight. I was just like, boom, 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 going over it. Why did I fuck up? Why did I fuck up? And yeah, by the time we got to Perth, so we went Geelong, Ballarat, Adelaide, Perth, and I hadn't slept because I'd just been going over and over and over in my head why I fucked up my comedy set, and then I got to Perth, and by the time that I got up on stage, I was so exhausted and I wasn't trying. And as soon as I stopped trying and I just got up there like, hey, I'm fucking tired, and I just started being myself, it started working, you know what I mean? And then people were following, and I really found that doing stand-up, when you try, stand-up, when you get into it, you have to try for ages, but then you get to a point, you're like, no, I just need to be me. And it's kind of like, I'm finding that with this vlog too. I guess that's kind of why I had to just really put some honest stuff out there, is because, yeah, at this point in my life, I'm just trying to be as authentic as possible. And it's interesting. It's really interesting putting it out there, how it's making me feel. In my last vlog, I talked about how I've had a bit of a rough time, but even, expressing that and kind of sharing it out there has taken a little bit of my insecurity away, and I'm feeling empowered for being who I am. And I think that's, with stand-up comedy, that I think everyone should do it. So many mates of mine that are rappers, like Complete, every time Complete does a wedding speech, it's the fucking best. Like Complete, I saw his speech at Sever's wedding, and I saw his speech at Bitter Belief's wedding, and both times he had the whole place in tears. I'd love to see Complete do some stand-up. Yeah, but I really think it's good for everyone. I think it's a good way to empower yourself for the stuff. I think this is so important for all of us to share these insecurities, I love seeing more people like myself that are just being more open about their true selves, you know what I mean? And it's fucking refreshing, and it's been a big part of being my true self, not only in my real life, but also in this vlog. And, the more I do this vlog, and the more that, it's massive therapy for me. It's really working as therapy to empower myself to be myself for all my ins and outs, it's so good when people accept you for who you truly are, even your own fucking the shit that does your own head in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I had a good friend today, and I was talking to her, and yeah, we just laughed about some of the shit that I'm pretty insecure about, and she was just like, "Oh, bless you," you know what I mean? And I felt so empowered because not only does this good friend of mine understand me, she gets me, and she celebrates me for my differences. Where my inner monologue had always been really rough on me about my differences, you know, and yeah, situations you go through in life, rejection, you know, that trauma of that stuff gets attached to these things, you know, and yeah. It's crazy how many people out there are carrying so much shame for just who they are. And I know this, you know, especially in prison, there's just so many people carrying shame that then they carry, and then it manifests deeper and deeper, and it comes out in addiction, and it comes out in physical health, and it comes out, and it just comes out. It comes out in violence, it comes out in, you know, talking this way as a bloke too, it's fucking hard because, you know, blokes have been told, what are you on about, mate? Get over it. And, you know, I know most of my friends are somewhat on the spectrum because, you know, people on the spectrum gravitate towards each other. And so many people out there are just surviving and are still getting in trouble for the way they are within their life and not being empowered for who they are, still kind of getting pushed down, and they're just surviving, you know, especially creatives. Creatives fucking struggle with surviving. It's the difference between neurotypical people and neurodiverse people, and it's such a large, broad spectrum, you know, and yeah, anyone can fit into it in a certain way. And I have a belief that, like, people that aren't on the spectrum are just really on their own other spectrum, completely off the other end. And this is all just labels. It is just all labels, you know. But what we need to do, and the label, yeah, because people get freaked out about the labels. And I understand completely in regards to people trying to find themselves in different ways. Because I've definitely, once again, tried to find myself through fucking hip-hop. And I grew up in Tasmania. And yeah, I had a lot of exposure to hip-hop when I was in the States. But really, the fact that I latched onto it for my identity and made my life about it, like, in hindsight, when I'm sitting in a room with a bunch of rappers, I just feel like it's a bunch of wannabe superheroes. And we're all just a bunch of nerds fucking there with our Marvel comics and our cool names that we picked for ourselves. And we're like, yep, we're superheroes and we rap. That's how I kind of see it. It's quite funny, you know, and I can really see, you know, like, even battle rap is as hilarious as it is. It's this aggressive two men. You know, a lot of the time it's two men. It's a very fucking male-dominated sport, battle rap. And it's two men aggressively rhyming their poems at each other. You know, they're like, yeah, check out my wordplay. He's like, no, check out my wordplay. And it's like, well, I've got some wordplay about a gun. And he's like, well, I've got some wordplay about the streets that you're not from. And I've got some... It's just like... It is fucking neurodiverse as fuck. It's weird. You know what I mean? If you're not in that world and it's not normalised to you, you're like, what are these fucking cunts doing? So it's interesting. It's very interesting. And yeah, so for the GreelTalk shows, I want to do some stand-up comedy. I've got a few good yarns. And you know, I've been doing hour-long, even hour 15-minute long comedy shows on the mainland. I did one in Melbourne and one in Perth, and I was really happy with how they went because it was a Greeley comedy show, and I had people opening up for me, and I did a fucking hour. And I tell you what, when you're doing your first 5 minutes doing stand-up comedy, you think, oh, an hour? That's impossible. So to, get off stage, I'm like, how was that? Hour 15? Yeah. You know what I mean? It was fucking sick. And I asked the crowd at the end, I'm like, what you reckon? And they're like, yeah, it was good. You know what I mean? And I tell you what, that was a relief, because doing comedy is scary enough, but charging people money is saying that you're funny. If you're going to put money on the door to do comedy, you have to deliver a good show. And I'm feeling confident. That I can deliver a good show. And I just know that through what I'm putting out there on this GreelTalk vlog, and I'm being my pure self, it's only going to radiate with people that understand, and I can't wait. I'm so grateful to meet not only the people that have supported me over the years through everything, all the ups and downs and the chops and changes and this and that, because it's been a mess. My life for the last 15 years has been chaotic. This battle league, this label, this, these guys fall out, this happens, blah, blah, blah. There's been so much up and down drama, because once again, the fucking hip-hop scene are just a bunch of traumatized, neurodivergent people that are all trying to act out of a mistaken identity in this kind of costume that they have as a rapper that helps them get away with whatever they want, in certain different ways. And I think that's a big part of kind of what's made me want to separate it, because I see some people using their costumes for fucking dark shit, and using their costumes to get away with toxic fucking shit that I really just don't want to be a part of anymore. Especially at my age, It's crazy, watching cunts go from in their early 20s when, this and that was acceptable, and just watching them get old, and it's just like, yeah. But once again, they're on their own journey. And it's not up to me to fucking direct anyone except my own journey, and I'm in charge of my own journey. I feel empowered, and I don't care about anyone else's journey in that sense of like, I used to want to be a part of the big thing that was happening. I used to, oh shit, Curse is touring again. I've got to make sure that I jump on the tour, because for me and a lot of Curse's mates, that was like the biggest show that we get all year, is opening up for Cursor. And I see the next generation doing this. They get really caught up in like missing out on this spot or missing out on that. FOMO is one of the biggest issues in Australian hip hop. Oh, you didn't invite me, and I've fucking been guilty of that so much. We're all very ego driven in hip hop, and so like, fuck, Cursor was my mate, and he'd drop bars about you other rappers in his tracks, and I'd be like, oh, is he talking about me? And that's the fucking narcissistic ego side of hip-hop, And I've had this with this vlog. I've had people hit me up, you talking about me? No, I wasn't, But if you're thinking that way, that's where the shoe fits, you know what I mean? The reason why I took those bars personal in the past, or I took someone else's line and they said about someone completely different, and I took that personal, was because the shoe fitted me. I was trying to be a rapper, I was trying to do this, I was trying to blah, blah, blah. And if they said, you used to try hard, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm trying pretty hard. Does that mean they're dissing me? It's, it's funny to look at it all in hindsight. But yeah. So yeah, the GreelTalk shows. Hobart is going to be on the Friday 23rd. I'm going to put the ticket links in the bio here, so in the description. If you want to grab a ticket for Hobart or grab a ticket for Launceston, that's the 23rd and the 24th of this month. So yeah, not long away at all. Only like 11 days, I think, if I'm right. But yeah, it's going to be good, fam. Come out. Come get amongst it. Come say what up. This is going to be... Like, I'm going to be walking into this space with a different energy that I've ever felt before. I'm going to walk in there with a different version of me, because I'm not going to try and be anything but me. And I'm confident it's going to be good, And I want to talk with you guys. I want to hear some yarns from the crowd. I want to, whatever, you know what I mean? And I want to do my stand-up and tell a few yarns, but at the same time, I want to keep it, like, engaging. And, my biggest aspect of GreelTalk is being real with it. It's real talk, and I want to talk about the real shit. And yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I want you guys to be there, and I want you guys to talk real shit. You know what I mean? I want you to fucking bring some grill talk, you know? And once again, the main thing I'm hustling through these shows, and the one thing that I want to give is connection. You know, when I did my comedy shows, my full comedy shows last year, I'd start my show with, you know, I'm so grateful that you guys have come out to be a part of this. And I sincerely hope that you can walk away with a feeling of connection, love and understanding in your heart for this world and the chaos that's going on. Because I'm just trying to process how I'm interpreting the world around me. And trying to do it, you know, the best way I can from my point of view, being who I am in my part of the world. And trying to be as honest and accountable and as a real in that sense that fucking, yeah, that I can be. So yeah, GreelTalk, Hobart at the Republic Bar, 23rd of February. It's going to start at 7 p.m. And I've got two of my good friends, Sally McShane and Steve McNeese. Sally and Steve are honestly like the legendary power couple of the Tassie comedy scene. They hold it down. And, you know, when I first got into comedy, yeah, Sally, she loves telling this story. But yeah, she got on stage to introduce me. This is when I was full getting into comedy. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show them I'm funny. I was like a battle rapper, right? At a fucking comedy gig. Like, yeah, you know, I've fucking memorized all my jokes. Yeah, got me punchlines down. I'll go on there and show them, right? And then Sally has introduced me onto stage like, all right, here's a new guy I've never heard of before. His name's Andrew Greeley. Welcome to the first time on the stage, Andrew Greeley. And I've come on, and it was at the Brisbane Hotel. And I got on and I grabbed the microphone. I thought, oh, I've been on this stage heaps. Like, what a gronk, you know what I mean? It's just like, excuse me, I've fucking been on this stage. Yeah, fucking do your history research, mate. How's that ego? You know what I mean? Oh, bless. And yeah, and it was a funny bit. I remember doing my stand-up. I do it so like structured and aggressively, and I'm like, I'll say this punchline here, and then people wouldn't laugh that much. So that's where you try too hard. You know, I was trying too hard. I wasn't just allowing it to flow. I wasn't allowing myself to be me. So that's what I'm most excited for this GreelTalk show, is that I'm going to be me. I'm going to be fluent. Yeah, I got some good shit. I got some good material, and I'm excited to build the material as I do these shows too, because I know there's going to be some interesting shit at every show. There's going to be some interesting shit, and it's going to be a way that I can learn and connect and continue to build this vlog on YouTube, in the internet, and in the real world, because yeah, I know that it's going to be good. And yeah, so I'm going to do the two shows, and then I'm going to head over to Melbourne, and I'm going to book some more GreelTalk shows while I'm there, and who knows where it'll go from, because I'm going to spend a bit of time in Melbourne. I'm going to do a bunch of hip-hop events, going to do a bunch of connections, and I'm going to do these GreelTalk shows as well. So keep an eye out, fam. I'll make a vlog about every GreelTalk show I'm doing. So I'll keep you updated. If you subscribe to YouTube, write in the comments what you want me to talk about. Yeah, hit me up. Tell me where you want me to come, you know, and give me the next year, the year after, I'll come there. I'm going to build this, and I'm committed to doing it, you know. And I'm so grateful for the people that are following me and understanding and listening, and not just judging or going straight for the argument's sake, you know, because once again, I'm not trying to prove nothing to anyone. I'm trying to accept myself. And that's the hardest bit. But I feel that, you know, sharing this stuff, once again, is therapeutic for me. And I know doing these GreelTalk live shows is going to be therapeutic as well. Not only for me, but I'm so honoured how many people are hitting me up, and they're grateful that I'm talking about, you know, this real shit. Because there's a lot of people out there struggling. There's a lot of people that don't have access to people that understand. And, you know, fuck, you can call the helplines, and bless them, the helplines, you know, they're there. But most of the time, they're just reading off the paper. And they're just following protocol, you know. And, yeah, I've used those sort of services a bit in the past, and it's hard because you can tell they're trying to do their job and they're trying to say all the right things. And, you know, sometimes you need someone that's just going to hold space and actually understand. And yeah. So yeah, God bless. I hope to see you guys there. 23rd of February in Hobart at the Republic Bar. Tickets are available on OzTix. And the 24th of February at the Gunners Arms in Launceston, where I'm going to be performing with another good friend, Ned Townsend. And Ned is an absolute G. He is a stand-up comedy warrior from the northern side of Tassie, and that guy is so dedicated. Honestly, the way that Ned dedicates to his craft and the way he builds, he's such a blessed fella. And yeah, I met him early on my comedy journey, and he's always been a real one. And he just went over to Canada with Chris Franklin. I know he's in Perth right now at the Comedy Fringe Festival. So he's a pro. He's a very good stand-up comedian. And Ned's going to be doing the show with me. He helped me set it up. So yeah, once again, Hobart Republic Bar, 23rd of February, featuring Sally McShane and Steve McNeese, 7 p.m. And then 24th of February at the Gunners Arms in Launceston, featuring Ned Townsend. Tickets available on OzTix. I hope to see you there. Let's do this. We're all one. Fire it up. God bless.